Spencer Duffy with Knottywood Barbecue. Hey, today we're talking meat, how you pick your meat, how you prepare your meat. So we have some lamb and some beef here. I pulled some beef out of the freezer, some lamb riblets and some lamb chops. So the lamb chops and the steaks we raised ourselves on our farm here. So I personally like to raise my lamb larger. You typically will not find a chop this big in the store. Because they kill those lambs at about 100 pounds, 9,500 pounds. I like to take mine to 140, 150, so I get a bigger chop, and I just like a little more mature. It's a personal preference. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was when you're choosing your meat, like this one here. This is a steer that we raised, so this is a Wagyu cross steer. When people talk about marbling, this is a beautiful example of what marbling should look like. When you look in there and you see these fat pockets all throughout this muscle group, that's your actual marbling. When you see a lot of tendon material like this, that's not marbling, that's more tendon material, but this is the marbling that they're talking about, where it actually is marbling, but there'll be a little bit of connective tissue within that. So when you're choosing your steaks, you want to look for that color profile within that muscle tissue. You want to look for that color profile of that speckled white, which gives you that. And what's happening with that is when you're cooking this, that fat starts to render down and it goes into that meat, which gives it all that big flavor burst when you're eating it. Typically, if I were going to buy meat from a store on a regular basis, some stores that I like are Costco. Their meat's super good quality. You can buy choice or prime there, depending on what Costco. Like, I know if you go into the business center Costco, you got to watch out because they do have a lot of select. If you go to the wholesale food places, a lot of select meats. So when you go standard, select, choice, or prime, there's a huge difference when you jump up into that. All that standard select stuff is going to be all dairy cattle. You're not going to get beef cattle like you're used to. So those cuts won't be quite as desirable as, say, a prime Angus or a Wagyu cross or a straight Wagyu. I highly recommend that you buy choice and above. That's going to be where you're really going to get some good flavor. And so you need to look and you need to ask. The prime choice cuts are the best. For instance, I know Costco, they do a really good job on their prime cuts. I like buying their prime meats when I'm cooking for a lot of people. I'll typically shop there. But you can go to your regular supermarket and talk to your butcher and ask him what he's bringing in. So there's essentially 5 different packers in the U.S. They pack all the meat around, all the beef around, but you're looking for that choice for prime and above. And as we say, we are the prime pellet of the pellet industry, so that matters as well when you're cooking. If you're cooking on a pellet grill, the type of pellet you're using is gonna equally be as important as that grading your meat and what you're cooking with. So just remember, the quality of the wood or the fuel that you're cooking with is going to have an effect on your profile, what you're seasoning it with, and then the grade and type of meat you're cooking with. On the lamb, same thing. You want a graded lamb, you want something good. We have Superior Farms here, riblets, great quality. These ones here I know are good quality because I fed these lambs ourselves. If you are feeding animals yourself or you're getting them from, say, a 4-H or an FFA show or a local butcher who's cutting meat, who's doing a really good job, I wanted to kind of show you something, a little trick. So when you open these packets up, it looks like there's a little something on there. What that is when the butcher's cutting these, this is a loin chop, and he's just going zing zing and cutting these, and I like them cut fat. You can see mine are a lot thicker than most. I like mine cut, so I specifically do that. Just take a knife and just do this. So when you scrape that, before I cook these, I just scrape these really quick like this. And what you're pulling off there, that's just the bone meal from the saw. As it goes through and it cuts this bone, this meat, and this fat, it mixes and it leaves just a small film on there of that stuff there. And if you just take a knife like this and you just scrape that off like so, that'll clean it up. Sometimes on your regular stores, your regular butcher stores. If you see that film, that's all it is. It's not going to hurt you even if you cook it. It just cleans it up and it makes for a better presentation when you're done cooking your meat. So those are our tips for buying meat, cooking, preparing meat, and what you should be looking for. If you like what you see, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Knottywood BBQ, YouTube, Knottywood BBQ, and if you want to visit us on our website and buy our products, you can come see us at knottywoodbbq.com. Happy grilling. Have